Hey folks, and welcome to Fit Body, Fit Mind, episode 1. My name is Jay Unwin, and I am a mental and physical fitness coach, speaker, and author. And I help people who are feeling mentally and physically unfit, stressed out, overwhelmed to upgrade their daily habits and routines so that they can live a happier, more fulfilled life, cope with their stress better, and just generally have more energy and more vitality. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, then please put live in the comments. If you're watching it on a replay, please put replay in the comments. But this is also available on YouTube. It's going to be available on podcast as well. So whichever platform you're on, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're listening to the podcast, please make sure you subscribe on whichever platform that you are listening on. And make sure you share it around as well and check out the other channels. If you've got anyone that you know that would benefit from this, then share this over with them. Okay. So what I'm going to be chatting about today, I'm going to be talking about prevention versus cure. This is something I've been in the health and fitness industry now for 8 years. I've been in the health and fitness industry since 2012, and there's a lot of things that I don't like about the fitness industry, which may seem strange coming from someone who is so heavily involved in it these days. But there's a lot of stuff that I'm not a big fan of. That's something that I'm going to chat about probably another time, go through all the things that I don't really like about the fitness industry. But one thing that I really do like is that the focus is very much on prevention. It's very much on prevention rather than remedial work, rather than cure. So yes, you've got people who work in the fitness industry with injuries, injury rehabilitation. You've got people who are working on that on the cure side of things. However, a lot of the fitness industry is more geared around prevention. It's around trying to avoid getting unwell in the first place. Last week it was Mental Health Awareness Week, and this goes for mental and physical health. Because there's certain things that we can do in our lifestyles and with our habits and with our routines and the actions that we take, which can help us prevent ill health to a degree. I'm not naive enough to think, however, that lifestyle and habits and routines are the be all and end all. I'm not under the impression that smallpox would have disappeared if people had eaten more fermented foods. You know, I don't think that you can cure cancer with apple cider vinegar. That's not the way I believe that lifestyle works. However, I also don't think that we should sit on our asses and shovel ultra processed, high calorie, rubbish food into our faces 24/7, do no activity, and then rely on medical intervention to cure us when things go wrong. So for me, it's about a balance between the two. Like always, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Extremes tend to be the attractive, the sexy, the easy to sell, but moderation is really where the magic happens. And so, yes, we have got the safety net of medical intervention if things go wrong, if our health deteriorates, if we need it. But we have got the opportunity to change our habits, to change our lifestyle, and prevent these things happening in the first place to a degree, or reduce the risk of these things happening. The theme of Mental Health Awareness Week last week was kindness, and tying that in with your physical health as well as mental health, because it's all one and the same in a lot of ways. It's about treating your body and treating your mind with some kindness, with some respect. Your body didn't evolve over millions of years to be completely sedentary and inactive. It evolved over millions of years to be active, to move. Our bodies are dynamic things. They're there to move, and they are there to do stuff, not just to sit and fester. And so what we want to do is we want to try and treat our bodies with a bit of respect, treat our bodies with some kindness, treat our minds with some kindness, change our habits and routines so that we can prevent or reduce the risk of disappearing into ill health, whether that is physical or mental. And what I wanted to do just with this is to not only maybe motivate or inspire or just get you to maybe think differently and get off your ass and do something different, but also to give you a couple of things which you could actually do. Okay, so I want to give you a couple of things that are actionable bits and pieces that you can take away from this and do. So I like to kind of divide habits. At the moment, I divide them up into movement, nourishment, and rest. because those three things are the big things for physical health and for prevention of becoming unwell. Movement, nourishment, and rest. Three big areas, three big categories of actions that you can take. And if I just give you one thing from each of those categories that you can take forward and act on, then hopefully, even if just one person listening to this, one person watching this changes something and improves their health as a result, then that's a win in my book. So in terms of movement, the kind of NHS government guidelines in terms of movement and how it can affect your mental health and your physical health, they recommend 150 minutes of moderate activity per week, right? So that's half an hour a day, 5 days a week, which isn't crazy. It isn't a crazy amount. However, it can sometimes seem a little bit overwhelming. So we'll break it down in a moment. But we're talking about 150 minutes. We're talking about 30 minutes per day, 5 days a week of moderate activity. And when they say moderate activity, something that gets your heart rate up, something that gets you breathing a bit more heavily. And that can reduce your risk of depression, for example, by 30%. So talking from a prevention thing here, yes, it can alleviate the symptoms if you're already struggling, but I'm talking about prevention here. And if you are not mentally unwell, if you're not struggling with your mental health at the moment, and indeed if you're not struggling with your physical health at the moment, that doesn't mean that you never will. We all have physical health, we all have mental health. And so maybe you've been lucky enough never to struggle with depression or anxiety or any other mental health challenges, but that doesn't mean you never will. And by the same token, just because you've never had certain physical health struggles, that doesn't mean that you never will. And so exercising for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, is going to reduce your risk of developing depression by 30%. It's also going to have a lot of physical health knock-on effects. It's going to reduce your risk of heart disease. It's going to reduce your risk of developing certain types of cancer. It's going to improve your gut health. There's a huge number of different things that being active regularly will do. But if you find that 30 minutes per day is a bit of a barrier for you at the moment, then you don't need to start there. Start with 5 minutes a day. Start with 5 minutes a day. Go for a little walk around the block every single morning. Build that into your daily routine. Build that into your habits. And then increase it from there when you can. And build it up to 30 minutes per day. It doesn't have to start there. It's not 30 minutes or nothing. 5 minutes is still better than 0 minutes. So find somewhere that you can build a bit of activity into your day, move your body, and you will reap the benefits both physically and mentally with that. On the second category, nourishment. Again, with this, there's so many different things I could have picked, but the one I'm going with is the variety of plants that you eat. Now, whether you eat only plants, you don't eat any animal products, whether you eat meat, whether you're vegetarian, whatever, everyone will benefit from eating a greater variety of plants. And the reason that I've put this one in is because your gut health is inextricably linked to your mental health as well. There's a huge amount of study going into something called the gut-brain axis at the moment, meaning that what's going on in your gut and your microbiome and the bacteria that live in there, it directly affects your mood, it directly affects your mental health. It also affects your immunity. And so by eating a wide variety of plants, which is the biggest predictor of overall gut health, is the variety of plants that you eat, you're going to improve your mental health, you're going to improve your immunity, just as a result of having a healthier gut. So that's just a simple thing that you can start doing, including more of a variety of fruit and veg and plants in your diet. So think about the snacks that you have, think about the meals you have, and try and include some kind of fruit or veg with each of them. Breakfast, snacks, lunch, dinner, whatever. Try filling your plate with half your plate with salad and veg and stuff like that. And try new things. Try different veg that maybe you haven't tried in the past, different fruit that you haven't tried in the past. Try new things. So that's the nourishment side of things. And then on the rest side of things, in the rest category, one of the biggest changes that people can make to their quality of rest, because it's not just about having adequate rest, it's about having quality of rest as well. So your sleep, for example, a lot of people struggle with their sleep. If you switch off your screens for an hour before a set bedtime, so if you have a set sleep time, I go to sleep at whatever time. For an hour prior to that, you you discard all screens, TV, laptop, phones, tablet, whatever. They go away. They get plugged in, they get put in a drawer, whatever. And you do things which are non-screen related. You read a book, like an actual book. You meditate, you have a shower, you have a bath, you go through some self-care rituals, you listen to music, whatever it is, but without screens. That is one of the biggest things you can do to improve your sleep quality. Again, if an hour seems like too much, and if that seems like a big jump for you, try changing it on a much smaller scale. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. 20 minutes before bed, no screens. 30 minutes before bed, no screens. Whatever works for you to start with, and then build that up to an hour. Because any improvement is an improvement. Any step in that direction is taking you forwards and is going to improve that sleep quality. So those three things again. One, movement. So starting with 5 minutes a day, building up to 30 minutes a day of moderate activity. Nothing, you don't have to go out like absolutely pelting, running around the village that you live in or the town that you live in, but something which gets your heart rate up a little bit. Can be a brisk walk. Start with 5 minutes a day, build up to 30 minutes a day. So that's the first one. That's the movement side of things. Nourishment, increase the variety of plants that you eat. Eat plants with every meal and snack. Eat half a plate or half a bowl of your dinner or your lunch or whatever is filled with plants. And rest, improve your sleep quality by turning off your screens an hour before that set sleep time that you are going to give yourself. Now, with those three things are just examples of things that you can do to help on the prevention side of your health, both physically and mentally, and keep yourself well and treat your body and treat your mind with some kindness. Give yourself a chance at living with more energy, living with better health, living with better immunity, having more vitality in general, just being able to enjoy life more as a result of just changing and tweaking a few habits. This stuff isn't about deprivation. This stuff is about adding to your life. It's about adding more energy. It's about adding more enjoyment. The more energy you have, the more well rested you are, the better if you're fueling yourself, the fitter you are overall, the more you're going to enjoy your life. So treat yourself with a bit of kindness. So take this and act on it. If you don't act on it, nothing's going to happen. So take this and act on it. If you want to see changes, change something. If you don't want to see changes, that's cool. Just disregard everything. It's absolutely cool. If you're happy, crack on with whatever you're doing. This is not me telling you that you have to do something. This is me saying, if you want to see a change, try these few bits and pieces. So I'm going to keep this nice and short. Like I said, I'm going to keep it under 15 minutes. And I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to do this video on Mondays every week, 9:30, probably every week as the Facebook Live. And I'm going to bung it across onto YouTube later in the week. And I'm also going to bung it on the podcast. So maybe you're listening to this on the podcast, which is awesome. But whatever platform you're on, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. My name's Jay Unwin and I'm a mental and physical fitness coach, speaker and author. Please make sure you tune in again next week and keep checking out the other platforms as well. And keep dropping comments on Facebook, like and subscribe on YouTube. Drop me some comments as well. Let me know what you think. And make sure you share this stuff with anyone who you think would benefit. If there's anyone in your life who you think would benefit, share this video with them or share this podcast with them. So in the meantime, I will speak to you again next week, but stay fit, stay strong, stay well. Big love to all of you.